Okay, and here is the main rosemary bush in this big pot that I got those cuttings from, which are now rooting. And if you remember, I said that I noticed that more than half of this big pot is empty. The rosemary is only occupying that one little corner there. So what I did is I shaped this, got rid of some of the longer and bushier or some of them that are looking like they're dying, don't look too healthy. I cut them all up, and as you can see, some of it are already rooting. And here are the little cuttings that I have from this rosemary. As you can see, they are well covered with greens, and like I said, there is no special. Okay, I'm trying to do it with one hand, pushing this rosemary away from me. Let me see if I could do it this way. Okay, hold on to that. I'm gonna try to pull out this. I'm gonna try to pull this one out just to show you if it's rooting. And by the way it looks, there's no doubt that it's got a good healthy root underneath this. I'm trying to do this without moving the camera so much. And yes, let me dig a little more on this side as it is close to that one. Oops, I hope I did not hurt it too much. Sometimes I work carelessly, and it's one of those days. Okay, so as you can see, lots of roots, and it's nice and green. So I'm going to use just one hand, so it's gonna be a very clumsy way of working here. One hand, sometimes you have to make do. Okay, and as you can see, that got root in there, so we'll stick it into this thing, transplant it, and see if it's going to keep on rooting. And as you can see, this one is really, you can see all that root system that it developed since I stuck that in the soil just from trimming my rosemary to make it look a little decent for the spring. And as you can see, it has rooted very, very well. And what I'm doing now is just transplanting it. I'm gonna add some more soil into this, and so, well, let's go inside. What's in this one? This one got greens. This one here, there's a resistance to it, but I know that this one is a little hard to pull, and it could be attached to one that did root, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to pull it and see what happened. Okay, that was a false alarm. It did have some green, dying green right there, but oh, I was wrong. Here you go. It was starting to root right there. Yep, I just killed it. But anyway, this one, although it looks like it's still alive, as you can see, there's green up there, and it's still alive. And it did have a few roots. I'm not going to worry about that, because as you can see, there are so much left here. And okay, here is it. You see the greens? See the new growth right there? Those are new growth. And if you look, you could see the greens right there. I mean the roots right there. You see? This one rooted. And I'm going to put that back in there. Whether or not it keeps on rooting, I'm not very much concerned about it. So much has made it in this pot. So there they are, my rosemary cuttings. That pot there and this pot here, as you can see, I did not bother to trim the rosemary and just stuck them all in the ground. And what I got left here so far seems like they have rooted very well. And as you can see, the new growth on that. And the other ones are this type of cuttings where I just cut the very tip, which is this, and stuck them to the ground. And as you can see, that one there is well rooted, and definitely this one is doing extremely well. I'm gonna be adding some more soil on them, but that's how super simple it is to propagate your rosemaries. No big deal. Just get your trimming, get a really nice rich moist soil, stick them in there and keep them moist. And it's always a good idea to stick more than 2 or 3. That way you could be sure that you will at least have one of the stem to take root. And I have quite a few more left in that pot which I could transfer and maybe leave 1 or 2 in there to fill that pot. But I will have quite a few more rosemaries now. Okay, that's how simple it is to plant the rosemaries.